What is happening, family? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. In the next 24 hours, in fact, in the next 3 days, there is a lot of liquidity to the upside around that 118, 119 level. I mean, you can clearly see how prominent the liquidation heat map is to the upside, right? Now, of course, RSIs are overheating, and that is going to be a major warning for us. But what do we do in the short term in a market that's so manipulated? We've seen the news. The event has come. The event has gone. What next? I'm going to try and visualize what could possibly happen. For now, right, you can see liquidity here stacked all the way to 119. Very, very punchy, very, very clear bias to the upside. And of course, to the downside, we have liquidity beneath prices that we've recently just hit anyway. So it would make a logic to grab that and then send the market back down. However, the RSIs are getting overheated. Let's have a look at the next 3 days. The bigger the time frame, the more clear the liquidity dynamics are for the market. Okay, these are the BTC liquidation heat maps. So if I gave it 5-year-old and said, where is there stronger colors? What is the brightest color you can see? They tell you, look, you know, it's to the upside here at around this 118.698 level and slightly just above to 119. So that's 3 days. Now let's go and stretch that to a week. And now you're starting to see the dynamics shift very clearly to the downside. What we have here around 114, 113, 111, you're starting to see way more liquidity. We've grabbed that already. We did talk about this 117 level the other day, and of course we could potentially go and get that. It looks like he wants to do that right now, barring the RSIs. But when you start to go 2 weeks liquidation heat map, and this is where people think the alt season's just going to go in one direction and one direction only, right? And now we compare this, we can see here 116 million. Okay, go to the price of 118.716. You've got another 114 million. And then look over here, stacked a couple of 100 million here. Of course, it could happen both sides. However, the chances are the bigger you go, the more you see very clearly what the liquidity is to both sides. And that gives us an opportunity, right, to look at the most critical thing, which is 1 month out from the FOMC. Where is the liquidity? So to the upside, not really much going on there, but look at to the downside. Look at the amount of liquidity here at these levels. And I would probably argue right now, it does look, but the bias looks like he wants to go grab liquidity to the downside. Will we go there? I'm not really sure. And of course, we are just looking at one chart of many different charts. And I'm looking at the most important one, which is the Binance chart. They tend to run this market, manipulate things. So you could just be careful, is my message. To add to that, right? To add to that, what we're seeing here is RSI levels starting to creep up a little bit. Now, we could see RSI go even higher than this, right? But right now, if we say the RSI is oversold, you can see the RSI is over 100. A cool-off is due no matter who you are. And you can't argue against these charts, man. So my warning is this. At the moment, we are seeing great prices. You have seen the liquidity to the downside. Whatever you're doing, liquidation heat maps, rather look at both directions. But the warning here is, how long can we stay up there? You can see RSI can actually go from 15th of April to what? 2nd of May. The RSI was up over 100% for a very long time. So it doesn't really mean RSI strategy doesn't mean that this is everything that's happening. However, it will tell us that along with the market makers, they could now say, okay, all of these alts and their RSIs are extremely overheated, and thus we're going to correct it. Okay, so total crypto market cap here at a very good level. Of course, this chart looks super healthy. Like I said, the RSI here on the daily again has kind of pivoted up, and it looks like he wants to hold up there for a bit. You got the RSI on the total, excluding the, so this is probably the, yeah, sorry, this is the total too. This is probably one of our most important charts in the history of crypto. As you can see here, we have just equal 2021 highs. Okay, boom, there we go. There we go. Beautiful. Now, once this breaks out, normally it doesn't come back. And this is the indicator that we need to stay above for all season confirmation. It's everything except BTC. When these ads start outperforming Bitcoin, again, this is when you realize that, yes, this is 2021 level. Of course, November 2021, it peaked around that 1.7 trillion. And right now we have poked our heads out of this. So this is super, super important, guys. Once this breaks out, of course, there is no retest. This should absolutely go, but right now it's still fighting there, and you can see we have just poked out with the RSI curling up. Having said that, it's just underneath, so it's over 60. So again, that is a word of caution, but this is the one alt season indicator that's breaking out, and that's all we need to care about. What we're talking about in terms of timelines, guys, this is very, very, this is a multi-year cup and handle. You can clearly see there, this is huge, but this is a very short-term, short-lived, what I would say a correction or a pullback if it comes. All right, look at these charts, plan your orders accordingly. Look at the RSIs, they are above 80. That means, you know, of course, no one's gonna buy overheated altcoin, and that's the truth. Big money makes the market move round. And I can honestly say to you, look, few coins, look at Aptos here again on the daily. Look how far off it is. It's just at a key resistance level, but there's way more to the upside than you could imagine. Bitcoin, of course, we just talked about it. Ethereum, pretty much the same, going into a mid RSI shift here. This is 48. The RSI is currently 48 after coming down. It has kind of like not fully reversed, but it's holding on here right now. And all of the altcoins are approaching well over 60, and some of them are poking out of 80. Okay, and this video is not to scare you, but this video is to actually tell you that these RSIs, although I do love this correction, I mean, I do love this reversal at midpoint, they tend to go up. You can see here we've had RSIs coming down and then halting briefly, telling you that the RSI is going to go up and then ultimately falling again. But look at SWE as well, you know, at a very, very critical level. Guys, majority of you are super early to this cycle. Like, I don't understand how people could be feeling anything other than that. Dogecoin got the spot ETF. Look at this. I mean, all of these charts have one thing in common. This is one of the most bullish charts. This is our indicator for meme coins. Another strong one here, Chainlink, right? You're looking at all of these big ones. Dog with cat still has way, way more upside to go, but I do see the same story again with altcoins. RSI oversold, crosses over, dips below 80, attempts to go back up, and then the weekend comes and then we get a sell-off. That could be a situation. Again, Neo Protocol, unbelievable, like 20, 48 hours. It's just literally confirming bullish, finish above this level, right around $3.30, and it's going to remain incredibly bullish for this to run up higher. Okay, Solana is again, you know, cup and handle, broke out, a massive W formation. Again, RSI is in the same situation as all of them. I'm not saying things are going to happen, but this is a master caution based on how institutions want to buy. They want to tap key levels, grab key liquidity, and then send the markets forward. But let's hope it continues to stay green. All right, guys, God bless you all. Take care. I'll catch you on the next one.